Welcome to the Killshot MMA podcast for UFC Fight Night Bonfim versus Brown. I'm Sniper. With me, as always, is Monk. And Monk, I woke up this morning. There were 13 fights. I broke them all down. I wrote a note for the DFS Army members. Come podcast time, we're going to break down 11 fights.
Yeah.
On top of that, there's FBI involved in the UFC now. We got clearly thrown fights. What a weird week, man. How are you doing? How are you coping with whatever this week has been?
Well, I was watching that fight with my girlfriend, and I'm like, wait, he's getting choked. I'm like, all right, he's fighting the hands. Wait, he's not fighting the hands. He's not fighting. He's not fighting. And then he was, and it's just like, what the fuck was that? And then it's all.
Well, you didn't see everything, but so we, a lot of us, depends if you were watching social media and stuff. We all kind of spotted it like an hour, like it was after lock for DraftKings, but like it was when I saw it during the prelims. Like, a lot of weird line movement here on Delgaria and Delval, and I'm like, oh no. And then somebody told me that Deval used to train Derek Minner and James Krause, and went, oh no,
so did Onama. So that one's kind of flying under the radar too.
Yeah,
I don't think that was as blatant. Yeah, it is different for sure. I'm not saying it's a thing, but to go from plus 850 to like plus 475 first round, like that I've never seen that before. Never. Maybe the Minner fight. I'd have to go back and look, but yikes. Supposedly, if you listen to Santino and them, the rumor is the first big bet came from Kansas City.
Oh, fucking shocking.
Which, if that's true, then what the fuck? Like, ugh.
Ridiculous. All right. Let's move on. We're going to break down this card. We got 11 fights to talk about. There's rumors for replacements for the fights that have been called off. If you're just tuning in or just seeing it, we record these on Tuesdays, and we have just found out that both Valentin McVeigh and was the other one? It was
Yanez.
Oh, that's right. Yanez and Quinones both are pretty good fights to target on this card. So ownership's going to shift around. We might get some more opponents. So we're going to talk strategy on this card, but things could change. Everything else is going to be for DFS Army members. You want to sign up at DFS Army. Link in the description. Use code SNIPER for 10% off. We're going to break down the fights that come up new. Strategies to employ. You'll get a little bit of insight. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sniper Wins, and we're going to do a cash game video Thursday, GPP breakdown on Friday. So you'll hear a little bit about those fights, but you want the full breakdown, make sure you sign up over at DFS Army. And since I plugged my stuff, make sure you go check out Monk Maddox, Monk MMA TICS, all the good content there. I believe there is a Patreon at the moment. Go check out Monk's stuff as well for more insight. And I think with that, Monk, I think we should start breaking down the 11 fights we do have to talk about. Are you ready?
Let's go. I'm definitely ready to get over last week and fresh outlook on this week.
Absolutely. Here we go. Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. First fight of the night, and I actually think a pretty high level first fight of the night. In fact, I don't know what exactly is going on with this card ordering, but let's go ahead and dig into it. As of course, I've not had internet issues all day, and I go to start the podcast.
Of course.
Good old refresh button and fight odds. There we go. Daniel Marcos minus 170. Comeback on Miles Johns is plus 145. Fight ends inside the distance. Well, let's flip it. Fight goes to decision. Minus 275. Your DraftKings salaries for this fight. Daniel Marcos being the favorite comes in at 8,500. Miles Johns at 7,700. This is a weird fight for DFS that with these cancellations, I might have a little bit more exposure to. Why did this fight end up weird? Well, if you know anything about Miles Johns wins with takedowns. I don't think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to have a hard time getting down Daniel Marcos and his 84% takedown defense. Daniel Marcos wins in the feet. So the person I'm picking to win has the less favorable path to a big score on DraftKings. I think Marcos will stop the takedowns. I think that the striking will be too much. I don't think he's going to have a ton of volume. Miles Johns can scrap. He might get a couple takedowns, but not be able to hold down Marcos. Overall, I think Marcos wins the fight. And while Johns has a path to a big score, I don't think he wins the fight. Give me Daniel Marcos, and because of how I see the fight playing out, I'll probably be a little bit underweight to what I was expecting initially on DraftKings. Monk, what do you have for this one?
Yeah, excuse me. I agree with the ownership. No one in Miles John's fights in his last 7 have made the optimal lineup. Not him, not his opponents, nobody. So that is very interesting. It goes with the goes to decision, as well as John's has gone to decision 7 of 11 fights, if you don't count the no contest. And then Marcos has gone 5 of 6 fights, again, if you don't count the no contest. So the big thing here for me is when Marcos starts to get hit, and he does allow strikes at 3.8 per minute, he tends to shoot takedowns, and much like you said, Johns won't be able to take him down. I don't think Marcos is going to be successful with his takedowns. Now, we've only seen that recently in a few fights, mainly the Jackson fight. He shot 1 against Yanez, 5 against Castaneda. Before that, I guess he did shoot a decent amount DWCS and then Simon Oliveira as well, but mainly he's known for his striking prowess, in my opinion, landing over 5 per minute. That said, Miles Johns absorbs just under 3 per minute and has a 67% striking defense, which should really come in handy this week. He's going to be very difficult to take down. Nobody's making the optimal lineup. I mean, Marcos has made it once in 4 wins, but that's it. The salaries are okay, and I tend to agree with Vegas here. It's going to decision. I'm going to be on the other side. I'm going to pick Miles Johns in what I think is a pretty 50-50 fight. So I would not be surprised if Marcos, got the dub here. I just think that the people Johns is fighting lately are a little bit, and that's not even true, are a little bit better overall than Marcos, but Marcos has beaten Jackson, a loss that is aged okay. I mean, Jackson has been underperforming in several fights now. It's kind of ridiculous, but they're pretty much fighting around the same level of guys. So this is going to be a good, interesting first fight of the night. Was not looking forward to it on DraftKings too much, but again, we only have 11 fights. Everyone has to raise their ownership here. I just think the winner's going to score 70 or 80, and that's going to be about it. So I'll have a little bit more than planned, but I'll take Johns for the win. But definitely, get me some of both guys in GPP lineups for sure.
Sounds good. Let's go to our next fight. Tisha Torres, now Pennington, against Denise Gomes. Torres is the dog at plus 150. Gomes is your favorite at minus 175. Fight goes to decision. Is up at minus 325. DraftKings salaries for this one. Denise Gomes is coming in at 8,900. Tisha Pennington at 7,300. Look, that fight goes to decision number pretty much tells you that Tisha Pennington is going to be a strong play in cash games. I actually think there is a stronger play in cash games. We'll get to that in a second, but she's honestly, it's the 2 women's MMA underdogs you're going to want to target in terms of this fight. I am going to side with Denise Gomes. I don't think she's going to get takedowns. I think they're going to be on the feet for 3 rounds. A typical Tisha Pennington type of fight. But really, where I think this one plays out while it's on the feet, I think that Denise Gomes can have a little more volume, land the harder shots. Tisha's always tough to catch, stays at range. I do think it's a close fight. I give the advantage to Gomes because she's got a couple extra pass. Maybe she gets takedowns. I think she's the one to land more significantly. I think best case, Tisha will win like a split decision, 29-28. It's possible. Like I said, not a fight I'm really looking to bet on or target on DraftKings, but I am going to give the edge to Denise Gomes for that volume and power advantage. Monk, who you got?
Yeah, we're gonna disagree right off the bat. I do think
Cool.
This is a very close fight for sure. I don't think I can back Gomes at her salary of whatever you said, 8,900. I just don't think she's gonna score well enough against Pennington. Pennington really does not give up a lot of points on average. 80 points per loss is about what she gives up. And then we're not obviously coming anywhere close to a 10x for Gomes. As far as the volume goes, actually, Pennington lands more, 4.78 over her career to 4.59 for Gomes. They're pretty much even for the most part, but it is more for Pennington than I would have thought. She also gets hit a bit more, but her defense is 10% better in the striking category for sure. But you are absolutely.
Can I play devil's
correct.
advocate real quick there on why that is? The reason that is because you're looking at the course of their fights. There are several fights early, like Angel. There's a few fights where Denise Gomes was held down for 3 rounds and just tanks her output. Luma Lukbunmi held her down, I think, for over 10 minutes. Angela Hill held her down for a long time. Like that destroys your volume when you're on your back for an entire fight. Tisha, I don't think she's going to do that, but who knows? Her game plans tend to confuse me. But
yeah,
devil's advocate.
That is 100% true. And you're probably right about that. In fact, she only lands like 0.2 takedowns per 5 minutes. It's one of the lower numbers on the card. So we're really not expecting that. Hoping for a split decision just so I can, we can have a chance at raising the underdog's hand here. And she does go to a shitload of split decisions for the most part. Well, I guess decisions, only 2 in the UFC split decisions. She lost both of those, but only 2 finishes in her. Actually, no finishes. It's all decisions for Tecia Torres. It looks like. I mean, she had
she
a
finished
sub
Hughes,
and a KO.
she?
That's right.
Yeah.
She has had 2 finishes in her pro career, but yeah, I agree. It's going to be a stand-up fight. If Pennington can land even 1 takedown, that would be extremely beneficial. Like you said, limit that Gomes scoring. But yeah, the only side I'm really looking at is Pennington. Possibly, I mean, GPP's none of it's sexy at 7,300. She's not going to score hardly any points. I mean, 82 is her average. She once won with a 59. So we're going to have to play with cash lineups. I do, as of now, I like her in cash a little bit just because she is so cheap. But we'll see who else is around this area. Maybe we can get a higher ceiling score because Pennington and ceiling are not 2 things that go together.
No.
So I'm going to pick Pennington in a very, very close decision fight. And yeah, hopefully she can put up some points here. The last thing I'll say is there's an 11-year age gap. And at strawweight, all time, 11 years younger fighters are 2-3 against the older. In the past 5 years, it's 1-2. And in the past year, it's 0-1. So the older woman getting it done. Love to see it.
Listen, if you don't have a middle-aged wife, you don't know about cougar puberty.
That's right.
Perimenopause. It's a good time. Everybody
it's
out
a thing.
It's a thing. It is real. Look it up. I guarantee you some guys in their 20s listening to this going, what the fuck are these old fucks talking about?
Bro, wait 10 years. You have no fucking clue. You have no idea.
Just trust me. How do we regroup and go from here?
I don't know.
All right, let's make a run at it. Josh Hoykett? I really should look up and say this crazy person's name because we're going to be seeing a lot of it against Max Jimenez. Hoykett is the favorite at -400. Frankly, I think it should be a little bit wider. Jimenez is at +300. Fight ends inside the distance is at -500. Under 1.5 rounds is -125. Wrong tab there. Your DraftKings salaries. Hoykett is the most expensive fighter on the card at 9,400. Max Jimenez is 6,800. Look, the UFC have found they see dollar signs when they look at Max Jimenez. When they see a Josh Hoykett, so they brought in Max Jimenez. They see dollar signs in terms of let's pay this guy the minimum. He's probably going to get smashed and make our boy look good, and that is what I'm expecting to happen here. But it is heavyweight. The state of heavyweight is rough at this point. Hoykett is, early in his career. Yeah, he's beat up. He's until his Contender Series fight, pretty much beat up some cans. Same thing Jimenez has done, but looking at the record, like Jimenez has been around. He's a BJJ competitor in like Connecticut. Cool. Hoykett is a well-rounded mixed martial artist. I think he's going to have the advantage on the feet. I don't think Jimenez will get him down. The UFC know what they're doing. They desperately need a star at heavyweight who doesn't poke people in the fucking eye. So that's what they're going to look here. I think this is the tailor-made matchup. I don't care about the salaries on DraftKings. Just going to get in Hoykett wherever I can. Even in heavyweight, I'm going to be underweight to Jimenez. You can take a couple shots if you want, but for me, this is all about Hoykett in a really positive matchup. And it's hard to imagine UFC debutante at this price. I still think there's value in this juiced up line, which makes me sick. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I completely agree. I love Josh Hockett this week. I don't know. It might be Hoykett. I have no idea. I have no clue. So
I really got to start looking up these
one of us has to be right. You would think.
I'm gonna get torched in the comments, but please drive up my engagement.
Yeah, there you go. One of these guys is going to get finished. I'm pretty 95% sure it's Max Jimenez in the first round. He's a BJJ guy. He, he rolled with Nicky Rod. I think I saw a video of him with Gordon Ryan, I believe, but I didn't see that on his Tapology. Somehow he has 4 KO TKOs in his MMA career. I mean, we're talking about just like absolute cans from these guys. So yeah, Hockett, very good wrestler. In his DWCS fight, he landed like 6 of 13 takedowns, control for almost 4 minutes, and landed 4.5 strikes per minute in that one. So he's definitely got weapons. As long as he doesn't do anything stupid on the ground, he should be able to get. I mean, I think he's comfortable getting Jimenez down and just ground and pound. That's what I'm probably looking forward to as far as a finish here in the first round. So love Hockett, Hokett. Going to have him in a ton of lineups, GPPs. I'm probably even going to play him in cash, to be quite honest. Since there's only 11 fights, I think that's safe enough. I mean, obviously it's risky with heavyweights and one guy's a specialist, but
no, it's totally fine.
I think it's totally fine in all formats. So yeah, give me Josh Hockett to get it done. Just like you said, yeah, don't like what I've seen from Jimenez so far.
Mayra Bueno Silva, Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti comes in at a very healthy minus 255. The comeback on Mayra Bueno Silva is plus 215. Fight goes to decision, minus 350. Your DraftKings salaries for this one. Cavalcanti's 9,200. Mayra Bueno Silva is 7,000. May I just say, holy recency fucking Batman. I mean, oh my God. Jacqueline Cavalcanti has beat Julia Avila, who hadn't fought in I don't know how long. A game, Nora Cornell, but not high level, and a split decision to Josiane Nunes, and a decision against Zara Farn. That is going to make her a minus 3 and change favorite against the former title challenger in Mayra Bueno Silva, who's lost to Holly Holm, the champ Raquel Pennington, former champ Raquel Pennington, Macy Chiasson by KO, who's enormous, and Jasmine Jastovicius, one of the top prospects in that division. The line does not make sense just based on results. I know Mayra Bueno Silva's lost 4 in a row. This is a positive matchup for her. I think that she's like nowhere does Cavalcanti really scare me. She's going to have the better striking, but Mayra Bueno Silva's been in there with really high level. Yes, Cavalcanti's got 80% takedown defense against Farn, Nunes, Cornell, Avila, and Cornell and Avila both got her down once. I think Mayra Bueno Silva has got plenty of potential to get takedowns here. There's no way I'm not siding with the more experienced favorite. Is Cavalcanti dead? No, absolutely not. She's a favorite for a reason. She is younger and hungrier. I will give you that. But in terms of DraftKings, on no planet do I play Cavalcanti at 9,200, and Mayra Bueno Silva becomes a cash game fucking lock at that price. And I think she's live. I think this is recency bias. Give me Mayra Bueno Silva to bounce back, be able to use her grappling, and pick up the dub. Monk, how about for you?
Absolutely love it. We agree 100%. Cavalcanti's averaging 68 points per win. And in those 2 fights you mentioned where she was taking down Avila and Cornole, she barely won. Like on paper, I mean, split decision over Cornole. And a lot of people argued that because they landed the exact same amount of strikes. One fighter had a takedown in 4 minutes of control time. The other didn't have either of those things. And then against Avila, I mean, it was an extremely close fight, but on paper, again, Avila just slightly like the slightest of margins outworked her overall in the fight. I know obviously that doesn't mean she's going to win the fight, but in both of those that she was taken down, they were extremely close. I think Bueno Silva can get her down here. My issue is Silva absorbs way too many strikes at almost 5 per minute, and Cavalcanti's landing 5.7. Again, it's against the lowest of the low competition, and in fact, the strength of schedules aren't even comparable here. Like, you can't even put them, next to each other and make any kind of comparison. So I like Mayra Bueno Silva here. 7,000 is fucking crazy. The line is crazy. Cash lock. I mean, she could be a GPP fight as well. Her average is a little bit better than Cavalcanti's, and by a little bit, I mean 22 points, 90.66 points per win on average. If we hit anywhere close to 85-90 with Silva in a win at 7K, she's going to be optimal. I really like her here, and I don't really understand this line. I guess Vegas thinks Silva's completely burnt out from fighting 4 of the toughest people in the division for the most part, and I disagree there. So give me Mayra Bueno Silva, and like you said, Cavalcanti at 9,200 is virtually unplayable.
Totally agree. That's just a weird situation.
Very strange.
Jamal Emmers versus Hyder Emil. This is, I believe, our mid-range fight on the card, or one of them, but the line is moving. Hyder Emil is minus 152. Jamal Emmers is plus 132. Fight ends inside the distance is minus 215. So expected to see a finish in this one. Your DraftKings salaries here, as I mentioned, Hyder Emil is 8,200. You got some instant odds value there on him. Jamal Emmers comes in at 8,000. Look, this is one to target both sides of. This is both guys throw volume. They can see finishes. Both, I think, are pretty good, are a little bit look, I think they can both go on UFC runs. Hyder Emil looking to bounce back off of a loss. Well, this comes down to his two talented strikers who throw hard. All I'm breaking the tie on in this fight is that I think Hyder Emil is better suited for that firefight. When this fight gets dirty, I think that's where Emil is going to thrive. If Emmers can keep it clean, he probably picks apart Emil and gets him coming in. I just think this fight ends up dirtier, and that leads it to Hyder Emil. That'll be my pick, but I will say on DraftKings, get overweight on both guys, and your odds value leads it to where you could play Hyder Emil in cash games on a short slate because you're getting minus 150 and charging at 8,200. It has become viable. But give me Hyder Emil. Monk, how about for you?
Love it. I agree. Firefight. Get both sides in your lineups. Which Jamal Emmers are we going to get? You know what I mean?
Who
are we going to get
knows?
the one? Yeah, exactly. Is he going to get finished in the first round, or is he going to do the finishing in the first round? The one thing I'll say about him is strength of victory is not great. He's beaten Gabriel Miranda, Dennis Bazukia, Hussein Ashkabov, and Vince Cachero in the UFC. Those are not great names. Not a one of them. Hyder Emil hasn't fought the best people either, but the William Gomes win is probably better than any win that Jamal Emmers has. I really think
definitely
Gomes,
is.
Absolutely. Gomes is a tough competitor there. Emil has shown holes in his defense, but Emmers also gets hit with over 4 strikes a minute. I think it's going to come down to the first round. Emmers has about, a couple minutes, maybe one whole round to really get it done before, like you said, Emil's just going to be putting him in a pressure cooker, man. Emil's going to have to make some big mistakes and get hit with a couple hard shots to really slow down. He's going to come in and just look to rebound off of that Jose Delgado loss. And I think he can do it this week. I love the salaries. I love the ceiling on both guys, to be quite honest. And I agree. Get both sides in GPPs. I will be more on the Hyder Emil side. I'm picking him to win.
Agreed.
And hopefully to get that rebound. But one guy should put up a bunch of points in a win here. So definitely target this one for sure. And I agree. Emil, good in cash. Even Emmers, that's a little less appealing than Emil is, but I can see if somebody wanted to make an argument.
Marco Tulio Silva versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Marco Tulio Silva, minus 190. What? Christian Leroy Duncan, plus 165. Fight ends inside the distance. More important, only minus 130, which I'm going to pause here. I don't understand why two guys with power who have finished people and can be finished this feels like value to me that fight ends inside the distance. I think we see a finish. I am higher on the finish train than Vegas is. Minus 130 feels low to me. Your DraftKings salaries, Tulio's at 8,700. Leroy Duncan comes in at 7,500. So because I think it's going to finish more than Vegas, I definitely want to be way overweight on DraftKings for this one. This is going to be a very, very violent fight. While Tulio has looked really good, he's done it against Trayshawn Gore, Ihor Paterio, Mateo Duclos, and Yusri Belgallery. Okay. Super cool, bro. Christian Leroy Duncan, on the other hand, look, knocking out Eric Anders is impressive to me. I know he didn't finish Andre Puliev, went 3 rounds with Gregory Rodriguez, tough striking match against Armin Petrosian. I think Christian Leroy Duncan has got better movement. I think his movement is going to be a key factor in this fight. I think he's going to frustrate Tulio, land something big. I think this is a big step up for Marco Tulio. I understand why he's a favorite. I know I made the noise at the start, but I get why you look at the records and what has happened. I understand, but I think there's to me, it's like a 50-50 fight, and I like the movement of Christian Leroy Duncan to really frustrate Tulio and find a finish. But two big men, more importantly, I'm predicting violence in this one, but for my pick, clearly, I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, excuse me. I like the violence output. I saw that -130 and I was kind of confused as well. But I guess if you look into it, both guys, CLD's never been finished. Tulio's been finished once, so I guess I get it. But yeah, Tulio has a terrible strength of schedule, but Christian Leroy Duncan's wins are not good. Anders Puliev, Claudio Hibeto, Dennis Tululin, and Dusko Todorovic, and the loss to Armin Petrosian is not good. Because Armin Petrosian is not good, but it's a great matchup in my opinion. Both heavy strikers with tons of volume. Let's see, Tulio lands a bit, a couple more takedowns than Duncan, who doesn't really land those at all. But he does have a 71% takedown defense, CLD does. And Tulio does control 85% of the grappling time. The one interesting thing, if this does get into round 3, both guys' striking volume drops by 50 and 60%. The difference is Tulio then focuses on his take. I mean, it's only been one third round.
Yep.
So it's not, written in stone or anything. But in that third round, he dropped 60% volume, but then he turned to takedowns and had 4 minutes of control time. Whereas CLD, he's got 3 third rounds, has dropped 50% from round 2, no takedowns and not much control time. So if this does get into the later rounds, I would expect Tulio to be doing a little bit more. But again, he's going to have to test that takedown defense of Christian Leroy Duncan at 71%. I am on the Tulio side, but I agree with you completely. 50-50 fight. Both sides big in GPPs, and I'm not touching this one in cash because honestly, it could go either way, and it's just too risky. We don't have enough stats against enough good people on Tulio. And Christian, because his defensive numbers are pretty good, but against nobody's. Christian Leroy Duncan has worse defensive numbers, but is that a function of him, with the Gregory Rodriguez fight and then just fighting a couple of cans in between? So I'm going to go with Tulio. I'm not confident in that one. CLD is a very good fighter. I'm just hoping to see a finish and we get some type of ceiling score from one of these guys because like you, I'll be well over both.
Agreed. Muslim Salikov and Uros Medic. Medic is a favorite at -175. Comeback on Muslim Salikov is +150. Fight ends inside the distance, -600, under 1.5 rounds, -160. Man, that is a GPP special for DraftKings. Your DraftKings salaries for this one. Medic is 8,800. Salikov is 7,400. Not only are we short on fights this week, down to 11 as of time of recording this, I got quite a few favorites because I've already picked a few, and now we're going to go Muslim Salikov as well. Admittedly, this is another one where just get overweight to both guys. The lineup build looks pretty simple this week. I like both of these guys in this fight. Granted, I have gotten Muslim Salikov quite wrong in the past. He's one of those guys that, for whatever reason, I don't seem to get right. Knocked out Carlos Leal, knocked out San Kanan. Split decision against Santiago Ponzinibbio was weird. Whereas Uros Medic, I don't think he's ever seen a decision. No, he's never seen a decision in the UFC. I probably go back further than that. The dude is just a finish machine. The reason why I'm picking Salikov straight up is that pressure from Medic, I think, plays into the hands of a guy like Salikov. Medic is not measured. I think Salikov is going to counter and put him out. We've seen him do it plenty of times before. This is a high variance fight, similar to some other ones in the card. Mostly I'm predicting violence, but you make me choose a side. I'm going to go Muslim Salikov landing a big counter, but mostly for DraftKings, that's where my interest is in following that inside the distance line. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, huge ITD fight. In fact, you're right. Uros Medic never seen a decision in his whole career. And in his 8 UFC fights, all 8 of them, 5 wins, 3 losses, someone has made the optimal lineup in every single one. Get these guys in your lineups immediately. If Salikov wins, he's 7,400. That's almost a guaranteed optimal. And if Medic wins, he's only 8,800 and he scores like 108 per win. His low is 90, actually. So, yeah, get him in your lineup. I'm going to go. I'm terrible at Salikov fights. I said it in my write-ups. I have no idea what's happening. Yep. He clearly found a potion, much like Zalal and whoever else I always talk about. But KOing Carlos Leal in 1 minute is
Ludovic Klein.
crazy. Yeah, Ludovic, exactly. KOing Leal in a minute is fucking crazy. KOing Song Kanan in a first round is crazy. I didn't see either of those coming. Medic, definitely a kill or be killed fighter. Every time he takes a step up, he loses, though. Soriano, Oral Boy, and Jalen Turner. But I don't know exactly where Salikov is. I assume he's somewhere in the middle, and I just can't get it right for him. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna pick against him stupidly, but you got to have both sides. I'm gonna have way more Salikov in my lineups than I have been lately, because of that 8-for-8 optimal, because of the minus 1,500 or whatever it is, ITD minus 600. And yeah, one of these guys is gonna get killed. It's Medic is kill or be killed, and Salikov has been knocked out before, and he's also landed head kicks. He's gotten first minute finishes lately, and he's clearly not done at 41 years old. So I'm just going to flip a coin and pick Medic, but definitely going to be playing both in my GPP lineups here.
Ricky Simone versus Ione Barcelos. Ione Barcelos is the dog, plus 143. Ricky Simone, the favorite, is minus 163. Fight goes to decision is minus 210. Your DraftKings salaries for this one, you have Ricky Simone at 8,400, Ione Barcelos at 7,800. This one stumped me for a little bit, so it's not one of my more confident picks on the card. I can admit to that, and I don't think it's going to be one that's going to be great for DraftKings ultimately, because I don't think Ricky Simone can get takedowns, and that's why I'm going to pick Ione Barcelos. Simone does his best work when he can get takedowns and win fights. I don't see him winning a fight on the feet. Ione Barcelos, I think, has got good enough takedown defense to stay up. We know he's a world-class BJJ player. If the fight does go to the ground, maybe a little bit of a path there. Ultimately, I think this stays on the feet. Ione Barcelos, you got to throw it. I'm sure Monk is going to bring up his defensive numbers, and they're probably crap because he gets hit a lot, but it's just on the feet against Ricky Simone. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he'll be the one landing more volume and the bigger shots. Close fight, but because I think Simone's best weapon in the wrestling is canceled out, I'm going to take Ione Barcelos. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the other side. My guy, Ricky Simone, I got to back him here. Ione Barcelos has very good numbers, but his wins are questionable. Like, he's losing to very good guys. Valiev, Henry, Umar, Kyler Phillips. I mean, some of those guys are very good. Some of them are just decent. But he's beating the likes in his last 10. I mean, Said Nurmagomedov. Some people would say Peyton Talbot is probably his best win. I think it's Said Nurmagomedov back in 2019. Other than that, he's beating Taha, Trevin Jones, Christian Quinones, a completely washed Cody Garbrandt, and Peyton Talbot. Who knows what the fuck is going on with that guy? I guess we'll find out when he fights a washed Henry Cejudo here shortly. But yeah, I just like the Ricky Simone side. I like his clinch work, his wrestling. The last time Ricky did not land a takedown was 2019 against Uriah Faber, for obvious reasons why you can't get a takedown there. That's not surprising. I mean, he beat Merab Dvalishvili. I know it's 25 years ago, but he's still got that kind of game. And so I really like the output that Ricky Simone puts out. And I don't trust the wins and the overall stats from Ione Barcelos. I think they're all a function of him fighting and beating lesser competition. Like, he's no joke. I'm a huge Ione Barcelos fan, but the wheels are going to come off at some point. I think Ricky Simone is his toughest opponent since probably Umar Nurmagomedov, to be completely honest. So I'm going with the Ricky Simone side. I think the salaries for both sides, no matter who you're picking, are fantastic at 84 and 78. And Ricky does average about 10 points more per win than Barcelos. His floor, his lowest score ever, is also 24 points higher than Ione Barcelos. So if this is going to be a stalemate fight, if nobody can get takedowns, it's going to be rough for DraftKings. So this is not an all-in fight, but I'm squarely on the Ricky Simone side. I think he has the better overall weapons and mixes them together a little bit better than Barcelos. But that said, Barcelos, I mean, he can crack, and Simone's been knocked down before. So it's just going to kind of depend, especially on how that first round goes. So we're going to see who's the better competition here. I think this is probably one of the best fights on the entire card, if not the best fight on the entire card. Really looking forward to it, but I got Ricky Simone by decision here.
We disagreed a few times this week. Interesting week. I'll be overall. I think I'm just underweight to that fight in general. I see it staying up. And who knows? Ricky Simone could burn me, but he didn't get a takedown in the Uriah Faber fight because Faber knocked him out in 45 seconds.
That's
That
exactly it.
That was something.
And that's the only fight he has not landed a takedown in, actually. Looks like. Crazy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go to the next one. Ishmael Bonfim and Chris Padilla. Not the main event fighter, Bonfim. His brother, Ishmael Bonfim, is minus 200. Chris Padilla is plus 170. Your fight goes to decision. It's a coin flip. Minus 115 for both sides in this one. Your DraftKings salaries for it. Ishmael Bonfim comes in at... I can't find it on my list here. I'm sure when I go to edit, it's going to be right in the screen, so that'll be fun. Is 9,000. Chris Padilla is 7,200. Look, Chris Padilla has clearly overperformed what I thought he was going to be when he came into the UFC. He's 3-0. He's got 2 finishes. James James Yantop, Rong Zhu, Jai Herbert. Granted, I think I called the Herbert ones. That one didn't totally surprise me. This is a bad matchup, and we're going to talk about both the Bonfims are similar, and that what I love about both of them is they mix it up. If they have a striking advantage, they strike. If they have a grappling advantage, they will grapple. I think that Bonfim is going to be able to dictate where this fight goes. I actually think he could do either here. I think he could get Taco Padilla down. I think that he's probably the better striker at range, more volume, more power. I think he's just, and it's not by a wide margin. That's why we're not seeing minus 4 or 500. I just think he's a little better in all aspects of the game here. There's no way I'm not taking Ishmael Bonfim. I'm probably going to end up with more of him on DraftKings than I would on a normal week because, hey, we got only 11 fights here. The 9K range isn't super wonderful, especially losing Yanez. As of now, as of recording this, maybe that changes. Regardless, give me Ishmael Bonfim, and I do like him in all formats. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree here. Chris Padilla, I think I've backed him in all 3 of his fights, and it's been nice, but I think this is where it comes to an end here. I mean, Bonfim is clearly levels above Yamas Yantop, Rong Zhu, and Jai Herbert, in my opinion. His 2 losses, he's not undefeated. I think his brother's undefeated. He's not. No, I guess not. He did lose 1. But either way, I digress. His losses are to Nazim Sadikov and BSD. Like, those are 2 fantastic fighters, in my opinion. He's beaten McKinney and Pichel. There's better opponents out there, but those are not bad opponents whatsoever.
McKinney tests you, man. McKinney,
absolutely.
He's not easy work.
No, not at all. And he took him out of the first round. So that was a very good game plan from Bonfim. He lands almost 6 strikes a minute. I mean, Padilla eats about 3, a little over 3.5. And we're going to really see the competition here, the level of competition against Padilla, because while he's been crushing these Canish guys, I think Bonfim is a huge step up. So I'm squarely on the Bonfim side. Doesn't score that well overall, but if we can get a finish here, that would be highly ideal at 9K. He's probably good, like you said, at 13 fights. I don't know about all formats, probably just GPP, but in cash with 11 fights, I think that's kind of a game changer. So I'll have to see what I have in the upper echelon of my salaries here once I start building. But Bonfim could end up being there. I just think Padilla is pretty good, but like you said, he's completely overperformed. He hasn't fought anybody as good as Bonfim, and this is going to be a true test here. If he beats Ishmael here, that's going to be a problem. I think he was brought in to probably lose fights, and he's been on a 3-fight run, and the UFC just kind of doesn't know what to do with that. So we'll see what happens in this one, but I'm squarely on the Ishmael Bonfim side. And just get this fight in your lineups for sure. The minus 115, I don't even know. I think it should tend to lean more towards a finish, but probably not by much. So play a little bit of Taco Padilla, but I'm going to have more Ishmael Bonfim for sure.
Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales coming in at minus 300. Matt Schnell plus 250. Your fight ends inside the distance. I'm question mark here as I look it up. Is minus 200. Do agree with that. DraftKings salaries. Joseph Morales, I believe, is the second most expensive fighter in the card at 9,300. Schnell at 6,900. Tale of 2 guys here as Matt Schnell was retiring the last time we saw him, put his gloves down, and Joseph Morales looked like the best version of Joseph Morales that has ever existed in that tough finale. So just two guys going totally different directions. I hate when guys retire and come back. It is a giant red flag. Should be, always will be. Matt Schnell was always a flyweight who was prone to getting finished anyway. Ever since what years ago was it? It was Hector Sandoval, the little baby rabbit punch knocked him out, and then or not rabbit punch, but a little baby hammer fist. Has done decent work in his career, but it's prone to get finished. Joseph Morales is on the upswing, has always been very good. One of his two losses before he got cut, and this is when the UFC was cleaning house at flyweight, by the way, was to Davison Figueiredo, and then he got held down by Eric Shelton and lost a split decision. But other than that, man, the guy looks good. He can grapple. I think, Schnell is comfortable off his back. I think Morales will get a takedown, hold down Schnell, can rack up a decision win, could finish him with Schnell's on the feet too. There's just so many paths to victory in the way Morales wins. The only way I see Schnell winning is honestly hitting a sub off his back. Or if Morales, 4-ounce gloves, gets reckless. But there's too many paths to victory for Joseph Morales. Really like him in this match. Viable parlay piece. Give me Joseph Morales in all formats. Do like him. A bit pricey, especially for a flyweight, but at least we got a flyweight in Matt Schnell who is prone to giving up points. Monk, how about for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Morales was a huge underdog, plus 400 against Alibi Adiris, and he absolutely dismantled him pretty quickly, actually. I think was it the second round? Yeah, second round sub, but he dominated him for all 8 minutes, it felt like. Schnell gives up an average of 107 per loss. Morales is scoring 104 in his few wins that he's had so far. And I love Morales here, all formats, 9,300. Now, it might be tough to get to Hockett and Morales, but you could probably make it work.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could probably make it work with...
you got Leroy Duncan. You got Myra Bueno Silva. You got options.
Tisha Pennington, if you really want to get crazy with it in cash games, I mean. But, I like Morales here. Matt Schnell, like you said, was retired. I mean, his wins are against Jimmy Flick and Sue Madarji, and that was a fight of the year. Like, he had to come back from that one. He's losing to good guys, but Morales, his only losses are to Shelton and Figueiredo. I love Joseph Morales here. I think Matt Schnell is pretty much done. You never back retired or retiring fighters. That's kind of one of the big things that I look for. Obviously, if somebody's not fighting anymore and they come back, they're probably not going to win. So, give me Joseph Morales. Let's see a huge output here. And we're right in line for a round 1, round 2 finish.
Absolutely. So on this card, we have brothers fighting, not each other, but brothers fighting, the Bonfim brothers. And we got wife-wife combination. So a lot of family in Raquel and Tisha Pennington. So a lot of it's a family affair card, which I think we need some family after last week's betting shenanigans.
No kidding.
That being said, let's get to the main event. Gabriel Bonfim, Randy Brown. Bonfim is -185. The cutback on Brown is +160. Fight ends inside the distance is at -285. And your DraftKings salaries for this fight: Gabriel Bonfim comes in at 8,600. Randy Brown at 7,600. Look, is this the most star-studded main event you're going to see for a fight night? No. Is it borderline? I don't like when people shit on cards, say we have too many fights, because I love watching fights. You don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I will concede this is not one I really wanted to see 5 rounds of, but we're here. We got a full card, so let's talk about it. And mostly, I think Gabriel Bonfim is going to have too many weapons for Randy Brown. Randy Brown, we've seen get takedown. We've seen him be submitted. Bonfim can do that. At range, Bonfim is a good striker. Randy Brown sometimes struggles to use his range, but is Bonfim perfect? Absolutely not. I'm going to pick Gabriel Bonfim, but if Randy Brown could do a better job using his striking, and I know they have the common opponent, that's what's tripping people up, in that, well, Gabriel Bonfim lost to Nicholas Dalby and Randy Brown beat him. Well, Nicholas Dalby knocked out Randy Brown in that fight. It's worth noting. I think Bonfim learned a lesson in his fight about that gas tank. It's one of those lessons learned. I don't think he managed his tank well, and he's bounced back from that. He's 6-1 in the UFC. I think he can mix it up against Randy Brown. Again, it is a styles make fights as well. Took down Stephen Thompson 5 times. That is not an easy thing to do. Yes, Randy Brown's got 73% takedown defense, but I think I just think, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is getting him down. I think Bonfim is going to have similar success. Is it an all-in DraftKings fight? Probably not. Probably comes up short of that because Vegas is predicting a mid-round finish. I'd say get field weight. I don't think you need to stack this one. There's too many other options in terms of cheap and go stars and scrubs. Pick who you think is going to win this fight and play them. I'm going to go with Gabriel Bonfim because I think he's too well-rounded for Randy Brown. Monk, how about for you?
Yep, we're gonna end up or close the show out agreeing on the main event here. I like Bonfim for all the reasons you said. Beating Stephen Thompson like that, even though it was a split decision on paper, I mean, he they threw the same amount of strikes. Bonfim had all those takedowns and obviously all the control time that goes with it. So that was very impressive there, and I think he can do the same exact thing to Randy Brown. And he's another one of those guys. It's like, which Randy Brown are we going to get? Are we going to get the one that KOs Nicholas Dalby, somebody who generally didn't get finished, or are we going to see the one that got split decision to Brian Battle? You know what I mean? So it's just kind of depends on what we see. But I like Gabriel Bonfim. He lands basically the exact same amount of volume as Randy Brown on the feet. The takedowns, 1.34 per 5 minutes, controlling 71% of the grappling time. It's the total opposite for Randy Brown, as you would imagine. Not many takedowns, and he gets out-controlled pretty easily. Both guys have defensive holes in their striking, it seems like. But like you said, Bonfim has more tools in the bag to deal with some of that striking from Randy Brown, and Randy Brown pretty much just has distance striking to go with. In the clinch, he's nothing crazy. Actually, in the clinch, he's decent on the ground, though he doesn't really do anything because you never see him on top on the ground. So if it gets there, I'd be interested to see what Randy Brown can do to A, stand up, or B, stop all of the the ground and pound, the submission attempts that are going to come from Gabriel Bonfim. 8,600, I think that's a fantastic price point. 7,600 for Randy Brown to really pay that off because he averages 83 per win. You're going to need this to go over 3 rounds, and you're going to need him to actually do something in those final 2 rounds. Neither guy's ever seen a 4th round in the UFC. I don't think they've ever even been scheduled for one. So that is going to be interesting if this gets past the 15-minute mark. I would definitely favor Gabriel Bonfim if it does that. But I'm also favoring him a little bit inside the first 15 minutes because, as you said, more tools in the toolbox. You can deal with things a little bit easier, and you have options to go to instead of just, oh shit, I'm Randy Brown, I now have to get up and then I have to strike. Everyone knows that's going to happen. Whereas Bonfim, he can mix it up a little bit better. So agree, and do not stack in cash most likely. And I got to side with Bonfim at 8,600. I think there's decent value there.
Just 11 fights. It's the end of the fight breakdowns, but do not go anywhere. It's time for the kill shots, an under-owned GPP play to help you take it down. Plenty of options out there. No main event, no chalk. So you can't say Muslim Salikov because that fight is like minus a bajillion to end inside the distance. Does not qualify. I think there's quite a few options. So Monk, I'm going to let you have first pick this week. Who you got for a kill shot? Actually, before Monk does that, everybody smash the like button, share with your friends, drop a comment, help us out, drive that engagement up. At least hit that like button for me. Appreciate that. And now, Monk, who you got? Who's your first pick? First round draft pick for a kill shot.
This is I'm going to go with MBS, Mayra Buena Silva over Cavalcanti.
You took it. You took
I thought I might. I wasn't trying to, but there was a couple others I was looking at.
There's plenty. I'm spoiled for
There are for sure. But yeah, not only are we both picking her to win, I like her in all formats just like you. And yeah, the line is crazy. If Cavalcanti deals with any grappling, we don't know what she's going to look like. And if actually we do, she doesn't look great. So that's what we're hoping for here. MBS make a roaring comeback after losing 4 in a row.
Sign me up for Christian Leroy Duncan. I think that fight spells violence, and I can call it a kill shot because the odds say minus 130 to go to decision.
Yep.
Could we be wrong? Sure, because they're 2 dangerous guys. Maybe they're a little tentative, but I'm just going to go based off what I've seen. I think the movement, like I said, will frustrate Tulio. Give me Christian Leroy Duncan to spring the upset and break the slate. I will say that if Tulio breaks the slate, I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to be overweight on both guys, but for this, make sure you're over on the dog as well. 11 fights, all broken down. 2 more. Hopefully we get some replacement opponents, but that'll be just for DFS Army members. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you subscribe to the DFS Army YouTube channel, my YouTube channel at Sniper Wins, and sign up for Monk's Patreon, Monk Maddox. Monk, anything before we get the fuck out of here for the week?
Man, let's wash ourselves of the last week and see some really good fights here. This is another card where people are like, "Oh, it sucks on paper." Those are always the best cards. So
And
I'm
don't watch the fights. Who cares?
Yeah. Also, just
don't watch them.
Yeah,
don't watch.
And you're definitely gonna want to watch Josh Hockett for sure. So yeah, there's some
that guy in the
fights here.
microphone might be
Yeah,
the
it could be
highlight of the night.
amazing.
It might outdo the chocolate Peppa Pig.
That's true. So good. Yeah, there's some big finishers here, and then my guy Ricky Simone. I'm really looking forward to that one. So looking forward to it, man.
Okay, make sure you subscribe everywhere because we got UFC 322, Della Maddalena and Makhachev and Shevchenko and Whaley next week. Plenty of
goodness
fights next week. So make sure you join us for that. But until then, to settle with seeing you guys at the top of the leaderboards this week, go out there, make some money. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.